Sri Lanka is facing a steady rise in the frequency of healthcare challenges. The country's existing public healthcare system, while largely efficient and effective, lacks the capacity to provide sufficient emergency treatment responses as required. Working to address this gap is the 1990 Suwa Seriya ambulance service.
Hello.
A person experiencing a medical emergency who dials the toll-free 1990 number is immediately connected to an agent at the trilingual Suwa Seriya call center based in Colombo. Call center operatives are trained in effective communication strategies, extracting important information from the caller quickly, such as the nature of the emergency, the condition of the patient, and details such as age and gender. In order to dispatch an ambulance with the least possible delay, the call center agent first asks the caller for their district and town along with any landmarks. With this information in hand, the agent utilizes the computerized system to identify the most suitable ambulance for dispatch. Rather than simply selecting the ambulance nearest to the location, the system evaluates traffic conditions and road routes to select the ambulance which will reach the patient the fastest. Once the dispatch button has been pressed, the system sends the location to the selected ambulance, which has a navigation system integrated with Google Maps. 1990 ambulances are strategically parked at police stations around the island. The pilot and EMT dispatch swiftly, following the route depicted by the navigator system, which is constantly updated as the call center agent reconnects with the caller once more. Upon reaching the location, the EMT begins emergency medical treatment and contacts a doctor who is stationed at the call center around the clock. Based on the nature of the emergency and the condition of the patient, the doctor identifies the closest, most suitable hospital in the district. Once the patient has been carefully transferred into the ambulance, the doctor stays on call with the EMT, providing constant advice. The navigation system gets updated automatically, displaying the best route to the hospital selected by the doctor. The pilot and EMT then successfully transfer the patient to the hospital for emergency medical care. 48 hours after the incident, the Suwa Seriya team further conducts a follow-up inquiry. The 1990 Suwa Seriya ambulance service was launched in July 2016 with a grant of $22 million from India in response to a request made by the government of Sri Lanka, making this the largest Indian grant project in Sri Lanka since the Indian Housing Project. Now active across all 9 provinces with a fleet of 297 ambulances, the service has had a drastic island-wide impact on the healthcare sector. As of September 2020, Suwa Seriya had received over 3 million calls and handled more than 600,000 incidents. With an average Colombo response time of 9 minutes 28 seconds and an average island-wide response time of 14 minutes 38 seconds, the service is reaching the furthest parts of the country, no matter how remote the location. Suwa Seriya receives more than 5,300 calls per day and encounters over 1,000 incidents each day. Adapting swiftly to the rapid healthcare crisis brought on by the first wave of the COVID-19 pandemic in Sri Lanka, the organization began receiving over 9,000 calls per day, with reports of over 1,500 incidents daily. In order to address the upward spike in cases and nature of the virus, Suwa Seriya implemented a stringent and effective COVID-19 strategy with special training and processes in place. In a similar manner, Suwa Seriya was effective in providing aid during the flood relief operations of 2017 and the Easter Sunday attacks in 2019. Research conducted has shown that every minute of reduced response time increases the chances of survival by approximately 10%. Developed based on this research, Suwa Seriya's Call of Life can also be accessed through the 1990 mobile app. Launched in 2019, the app enables faster and more efficient ambulance dispatches, further easing the communication process with the caller. Lending an effective solution to aid and support Sri Lanka's healthcare system, Suwa Seriya has impacted thousands of lives around the country, providing the means for reliable emergency healthcare to reach every Sri Lankan.